Moving on, Grey India's Chief Strategy Officer Dheeraj Sinha launched his book in Mumbai last week on brands and marketing. He engaged in a conversation with our consulting editor Pradyuman Maheshwari about why he gives Desi Jugaad a thumbs down and what he thinks today's India really wants.
बाजार है मासेस को भी अपग्रेड का इंतजार है.
This is your second book and you have a day job that possibly requires 100,000% of your time. How do you manage the time to write a book?
There are two aspects to it. One is that you have to get a commitment on your head. So once you sign a book deal, then you have to deliver. So it's like a sword hanging on your head. But more than that, my feeling is that if there's something compelling inside you, right, which really needs to come out and which needs to be told, is when you really are forced to put pen to the paper. And to my mind, I go around in my daily job looking at lots of myths that marketers and businesses live by, looking at brands spending a huge amount of money and then getting decimated, and that sort of at some level sort of pinches me, and therefore I want to put these debates at the center stage.
You know, India has always celebrated the Jugaad mindset, but in your book you've kind of poo-pooed it and you've said that it's actually letting down the image of the country. Why this comment?
I would say it has got India to where it is today in a slightly negative way, because to my mind, what is Jugaad? Jugaad is about shortcuts. Jugaad says quick fix. Jugaad says fix it by hook or crook, right? And to my mind, the fact that we still live with potholes on our roads in most of our cities, despite having spent so much of money, the responsibility perhaps goes on Jugaad. I worry about eulogizing a concept like Jugaad because it does more harm to a country which is coming out of a coping mechanism, right, and trying to develop through excellence. And I don't think Jugaad is our partner in excellence.
You kind of rubbish the entire concept of reaching out to 1 billion Indians. But the fact of the matter is that many products and many services are targeting these billions. In fact, even the Prime Minister is talking about demand. So do you think this mindless craze for the billions is incorrect?
So if you look at all the data, and this is the census data of 2011, there are 600 million people in the country who do not have access to pure drinking water and clean toilets, right? Even if you look at the number of 900 million mobile phone subscribers, and if you see that there are 2.5 SIM cards per subscriber, the mathematics comes down to saying 600 million people. So there aren't actually more than 600 million people in the consuming class population. So it's not a market of 1.2 billion, right? From a Prime Minister perspective, from a socio-political perspective, I would agree that he has an agenda and he has a task to get the 1.2 billion up and running, and he should therefore definitely focus on that. But from a business and marketing perspective, I don't think the consuming class is anything beyond 600 million.
You've written about the contrasts and contradictions which exist in the various regions of the country. Does it become difficult for a marketer to reach out to these various segments, the many Indias?
I mean, my theory on that is that too much has been made about this many Indias, and it's a consultant's favorite, right? Consultants would go on conferences and to clients and say, oh, there's so many Indias in this country, and India changes every 100 kilometers, and there are 2,000 dialects and languages, and there are customs at every step. But as a marketer, how do I use that? Right? So do I build product and service for every 100 kilometer? Where is the media to reach out to that audience, right? On the contrary, if you look at the fact that our diversity is actually inspiring a larger national popular culture. So Karwa Chauth today is a national festival, and dosa is a national snack. You can get a dosa in the northern part of India, you can get it in Sikkim, you can get it anywhere. So lots of ideas across regions have traveled, and I think we are seeing a united India in terms of a popular culture. And as a marketer, the idea of united India is far more valuable from marketing and product point of view than the idea that India changes every 100 kilometers. So I'm really sticking my neck out and rooting for diversity, sort of inspiring a national popular culture and making it interesting.
A recent PwC research report says that as countries like India grow, aspirations of the Indian consumer too are leapfrogging. due to this, the Indian consumer expects more from product and services. What is your view on this finding?
Oh, totally. I couldn't agree with this any more. The whole idea that I will strip down a product and I will take a car and I will strip it down to the level that it looks like really basic bare minimum car and sell it to those poor people, and those poor people who can't afford a two-wheeler should jump at this product doesn't work. If you go to smaller town India, we do a lot of research with youth in small town India, and they would say that अगर हमारे अरमान इतने बड़े हैं तो हमारे मोबाइल फोन का साइज बड़ा क्यों ना हो. So the bottom of the pyramid wants to be sexy in status. I mean, they are upgrading. They want sexier products. If they want a refrigerator, they want a real refrigerator. They do not want something which has been hacked to look like a refrigerator. And therefore, the philosophy of giving more for more is what you need in India, rather than giving less for more.